WBCB presents Pro Wrestling Weekly,
the longest-running pro wrestling radio talk show in the history of terrestrial radio.
And he's obviously Michael Cole.
Call in with a question or comment at 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149.
Talking wrestling.
Yeah.
Because that's what this show's about. That's what we've been doing for over 16 years.
No. It's about sports entertainment.
And now here are your hosts of Pro Wrestling Weekly, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Will you stop marking out over there?
Sorry.
Move over, kid. I'm taking your microphone.
You're shallow, you know that?
I'm running on 2 hours of sleep. I don't remember what the hell I do anymore. There's the sound of the bell, and we are set to go. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, flying solo. Lucas, I guess, a little tired after the setup for tonight's event at the MFPW Arena. At least that's my guess. I don't know. He hasn't responded to any of my texts, so I'll have to see about that. What an interesting week. We'll get into a whole bunch of stuff here, but first things first, want to mention a guest who's about to make his way out of here. Got a chance to meet a really cool person in Alex Marvez, the longtime wrestling reporter, now host of SiriusXM Radio, and also a columnist for the sporting news, writing for the NFL. Really nice guy. Great to have a chat with him about a bunch of the old times, the new times, and everything else. And he had just done 4 hours. Otherwise, I would have tried to see if he could come on here for a segment. But I don't know. Maybe we'll see about something down the road here. Of course, he's in the Philadelphia area here covering the NFL draft that day 3, I believe, has just started mere moments ago. So that all being said, got a lot of news and notes to get into here. Some interesting things, including a documentary coming up from a UK wrestler, which should be rather interesting. A little bit more of a follow-up on the television status of WWE in the Philippines. Also a notable name who has reportedly signed a contract with Ring of Honor. We'll tell you who that is coming up. Also an interesting movie regarding the life story of a very notable figure in professional wrestling. Also, knee surgery coming up for one of Impact Wrestling stars. We'll tell you who that is about coming up here in the hour. Also, a wrestler in the NXT roster who has an offspring now. We'll leave it at that. Also, Shaq talks a little bit about why he didn't wrestle as advertised or teased at WrestleMania 33, all that and a whole bunch more. But as mentioned a little bit earlier here, the movement that you can join the movement tonight at the MFPW Arena, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey, where QT Marshall will be defending the MFPW Heavyweight Championship against number 1 contender Mikey Webb from out of the Boston, New England area. Also, Nick Camarado putting the MF Live title on the line against Manny Soriano, fresh off of his appearance at Evolve. Also, you'll see Mike Dobbs against Mike Orlando, and the return, just announced yesterday, the return of Headbanger Thrasher. That's right, from the famed tag team from the World Wrestling Federation back in the late 90s. Thrasher, one half of the Headbangers, the former tag team champions. He's going to be in the house as well. All this and more tonight at the MFPW Arena, 541 Mantua Avenue in Paulsboro, New Jersey. Tickets available now at eventbrite.com, and make sure to check out the MFPW and all things Monster Factory on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, plus at monsterfactory.org. And make sure to check out past matches, bios, bloopers, and more at the mfnetwork.com. You might even see me somewhere along there. Who knows? And don't forget Factory Fridays, the 18 and up alternative to the MFPW. Well, as said, Lucas DeSangro, conspicuous by, well, I don't know. I guess considering the frequency of the absences, is it really conspicuous at this point? I don't know. It's kind of hard to say, but I at least throw it out there anyway. Also, well, more to get into. Of course, I kind of, I'll admit it, and if only there was an audible chant that could be utilized for this, but I indeed did bleep up last week in the pre-recording, the shortened show, and for some reason I was a little early, a little premature on my prediction, certain to go wrong for the Payback pay-per-view, as the pay-per-view is tomorrow. I guess that's what copious amounts of sleep deprivation will do. I seem to get my days and weeks mixed up here. I guess it's probably in part because I was recording on that was on a Wednesday that that Mike Samsel and I put that together. And what can I say? He is certainly a character, and it's always fun when he gets involved in the mix here, even if it's to ruin my show or something along those lines. Alrighty, we've got news, notes, and things to talk about here. Kind of an official follow-up, I suppose, with Mauro Ranallo. His run with WWE seems to have come to an end. At least that's been speculated for a while, but it looks pretty much official, as Ranallo telling Newsweek.com that his exit had nothing to do with broadcast team member JBL, or John Bradshaw Layfield. Ranallo saying in a statement, quote, "WWE and I have mutually agreed to part ways. It has nothing to do with JBL." Right. Yeah, I don't know how many people are buying that one. I know that I'm not, but again, in his departure, it looks as though he's trying to take the high road and not necessarily throw anybody under the proverbial bus, but I don't know. I think it's kind of one of those where he's saying it even though it's pretty much a transparent, something else is transparent there, I guess is probably the best way to put that. JBL also issued a statement to Newsday. He said, quote, "Admittedly, I took part in locker room pranks that existed within the industry years ago. WWE addressed my behavior and I responded accordingly, yet my past is being brought up because of recent unfounded rumors. I apologize if anything I said playing the bad guy on a TV show was misconstrued." End quote. Ranallo is under WWE contract through August 12th, but there are no plans to bring him back to television in the last 4.5 months of his contract, and well, it's rather unfortunate. I thought that his commentary was kind of a breath of fresh air to everything that was going on, and it brought a sense of gravitas that really you haven't seen since, I guess, since JR left. I mean, Michael Cole has been extremely serviceable, but I think there have been a lot of fans who have been a bit speculative of his, I'll use the term again, gravitas, since Michael Cole's heel turn, I guess, for lack of a better term, back in 2011, which saw him don the orange singlet and get in the ring for a little bit, and I think a lot of people have left some question to his credibility based on that. But I don't know. I mean, it's a shame that Ranallo's departing. I mean, not that he's going to be strapped for work, as there are a lot of people who are looking to involve him in this case here. And it's just I don't want to say wishing him the best in his future endeavors, because he's not quite been future endeavored yet. But pretty much everybody has their eye on about 4.5 months from now when that contract expires, and I guess there can be an official announcement from WWE, as they have not yet provided one at this point. So we will certainly see how that plays out, for lack of a better term, some 15 weeks from now, as that's how far we are away from August 12th, actually to the day, interestingly enough. So if something breaks that particular day, we'll have it here for you on Pro Wrestling Weekly. Also, Crazy Steve, as he's known in Impact Wrestling, he said farewell via Twitter after last week's television taping, and later added his booking info for independent events and autograph signings. No word on what that's going to do with the Decay faction that also involves Abyss. But if it means more appearances at the MFPW, I'm all for it. Just saying, just throwing that out there. Also, an interesting international tweet courtesy of Tajiri, announcing on Twitter that he is leaving WWE. He noted that a knee injury from January, along with, being a risky proposition to continue, despite the fact that he's medically cleared, that's making him have second thoughts about returning to the ring. He noted his age, being 46, and the fact that the knee was still bad even while coaching at NXT. So he's opting instead to head on home, and he thanks Triple H and is noted that he is returning to Japan. That all thanks to a very loosely translated, since it was all texted or tweeted in Japanese, kind kind of loosely translated to English to kind of get the overall perspective of things. But Tajiri, certainly a longtime fan favorite, especially here in the Philadelphia area, as he was a huge part of ECW in the late 90s, and very popular. Popular regardless of his position, and that, of course, transitioned over into WWE once ECW folded up shop back in 2001. Also, today marks the final day of the WWE visiting the United Arab Emirates. That's right, the UAE. WWE holding a 4-day talent tryout in Dubai, and they gave 40 men and women from the Middle East and India the opportunity to showcase their abilities in the hopes of being recruited to begin training in the WWE Performance Center down in Orlando, Florida. WWE has been going global with their recruiting as of late. In recent years, they've scouted rugby and soccer players from Europe, kabaddi and kushti athletes from India, as well as martial artists and boxers from China, including signing a few Chinese trainees, one of which involving himself in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal at WrestleMania a few weeks ago. So who knows? We'll see what they can bring in here. I mean, hopefully it'll go a little bit better than when they had Muhammad Hassan in WWE a little while ago. I'm sure you remember how well that did or didn't go over. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just say pretty much anybody cringes now every time they hear this. Because maybe it was a timing thing, I don't know. Back in 2003, 2004, September 11th was still extremely fresh. I don't know. But for whatever reason, it almost harkened back to a different era where there were death threats and things like that, as you saw in the 70s and 80s with the with the Cold War and everything like that. And I mean, the Iron Sheik was certainly another one, just to name a few who kind of had that. And I don't know, in 2004, he just opted to step away, or 2005, I should say. And that's pretty much, I mean, he's kind of kept a low profile since then. But hopefully they being WWE, can learn from their mistakes and not necessarily go in that direction with somebody from the Middle East there. Again, at least you can certainly hope so. Anyway, we're going to take care of our first time out here. We'll get to Ed from Northeast Philly on the line there, and there's also room for you as well. 215-949-3232 or toll free at 888-922-2149. Those are the ways to hop in. Plus, there's the Facebook fan page, Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB. Make sure to give it a like and a follow if you haven't already, and join in on the conversation. As who knows what's going to pop up there. That's for sure. Anything's certainly possible, to say the least. And one other thing of note, this has been kind of a difficult day here, mentioning the MFPW and the Monster Factory, as going on right now down in Williamstown, New Jersey, is the viewing and funeral service for the late pretty boy Larry Sharp, who helped found the Monster Factory back in 1983. And once things are wrapped up here on the air around 1 o'clock when Nutsy does his thing, I'll be trying to make my way down there prior to the MFPW event tonight to pay my respects, as if not for him, a lot of opportunities that have come my way, certainly, it's hard to say that they would have. So, thoughts and condolences out to the family, and also to the Monster Factory family, of which I'm proud to say that I'm a part of. That being said, we'll take care of some business here and come on back to Ed from Northeast Philly on the other side of this timeout. This is Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Tasty Cake would like to salute you, the great sports fans of Philadelphia. Whether your team is up or down, there's one winner you always count on: Tasty Cake. With fan favorites like candy cakes, crimpets, mini donuts, and our famous pies, Tasty Cake has been Philly's ticket to Major League goodness for over 100 years. Find Tasty Cake treats at a store near you, for yourself, for your team, and just for the fun of it. Tasty Cake.
You won't see termites crawling across your floor, but thousands might be devouring the wood in your walls, weakening the structure of your home. For over 50 years, termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley has been in the exterminating business. If you think you have a pest problem, they're the experts. Call them today at 215-639-5455. That's 215-639-5455 for TPPC. Termite proofing and pest control of the Delaware Valley gives your home or business peace of mind, knowing your pest problem is in their hands. Located at 1560 Bristol Pike in Bensalem, they use only EPA-approved material applied by licensed technicians. Call Termite Proofing and Pest Control of the Delaware Valley at 215-639-5455.
Since 2004, more than 90 million pounds of trash have been picked up during the Great American Cleanup of PA.
Nearly 2 million volunteers have joined this effort. People like you.
Hi, I'm PennDOT Secretary Leslie Richards.
And I'm DEP Acting Secretary Patrick McDonald, asking you to invest in your community by taking part in this year's cleanup.
Visit gacofpa.org to learn more.
And help us pick it up, PA.
Sponsored by the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Tom Wolf, Governor. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker asking you to join me and former Phillies slugger Greg the Bull Luzinski for the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session presented by Gage Fiore, attorneys at fightforyou.com. Every Monday, 6 to 7 p.m., we'll talk Phillies baseball with a different guest each week. Go to WBCB1490.com to check show locations and guest information each week. The Independence Blue Cross Bull Session, presented by Gage Fiore, attorneys at fightforyou.com, every Monday at 6 p.m. on 1490 WBCB and 610 Sports.
It's got the Luigi death stare from Fearon, so we might have to...
I didn't give you the Luigi death stare. That's not true.
You're breaking kayfabe.
Breaking kayfabe. Gonna break something else during this commercial.
There we go. That's what I like to see.
And now, more Pro Wrestling Weekly with your hosts, Fearon Derry and Lucas DeSangro.
Are we getting into that controversy again?
I know how it feels, and it's not fun.
Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here, not alongside Lucas, who might be receiving said Luigi death stare, as... Well, I texted to find out what was going on with him in the show today, and it was no sold. Drama? Who knows? We'll find out as things go on here. We'll try to see what we can do about finding out about that. But in the meanwhile, let's see what we can find out about the local scene here, courtesy of Ed from Northeast Philly. Ed, welcome to Pro Wrestling Weekly.
Good afternoon. OLH has a handful of tickets left for the May 14th show at the 2300 Arena.
Oh, that's right. The Mother's Day show. Easy for me to say.
You know, the Briscoes and Bully Ray, Jay Lethal, Cody Rhodes, and the Young Bucks, and Christopher Daniels.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Part of the War of the Worlds tour.
And I think the same lineup is for the night before in New York.
Could very well be possible here. I mean, I'm looking at, already signed, let's see, the World Television Championship, if Skrull is champion, Marty Skrull against Kushida. Also, the American Nightmare Cody, formerly known as Rhodes, against the Heavy Metal Rebel Frankie Kazarian. And also, as you mentioned, signed to appear Christopher Daniels, the Young Bucks, Bully Ray, and Mark and Jay Briscoe. And then a lot of New Japan representation. The IWGP Intercontinental Champion Tetsuya Naito, the Never Openweight Champion Hiroki Goto, easy for me to say. Also from New Japan, Gedo, Evil, Bushi, Sanada, and Hiroshi Tanahashi. I'm surprised I didn't trip over that more than I did. Also, Will Ospreay, Dalton Castle, Jay Lethal, and more. I would imagine that Punishment Damian Martinez is going to be there as well. It's not listed on here, but I would certainly imagine so.
They have Sasha Banks in Voorhees this afternoon signing autographs at Adventureland store.
Oh, very nice. Yeah, I know that Adventureland does a lot of different things, and they've had certainly a lot of different signings. Huh?
The real boss.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, well, for WWE, most certainly. That's going on until 2 o'clock today.
Springsteen.
Well, yeah, or since he's here in the building, El Jefe Roberto, Bob Giaquinto, the program director here at WBCB. So he's been here all morning. I'm wondering if I did something to get into trouble here. I don't know. I guess
he might be on his list.
yeah, exactly. I might have just made the list. That's certainly a possibility. Oh goodness. Well, stranger things have happened.
Did you hear about Dennis Stamp passing away?
I thought I heard a little bit about it, but I don't know. I've been all over the place here over the course of the last couple of weeks, as I'd mentioned in the first segment. Messing the. Oh yeah, I mean that was a few. That's right. It was like a few weeks ago. It was back in March that he passed away at the age of 70. I knew I thought I'd mentioned it, but as I said, the days and weeks just all seem to flow together here. Yeah, he passed away at the age of 70.
I think he was right next to you at that one convention.
Yeah, that narrows it down. That one convention. No, no. I don't know. What you mean with the Collector Fest where we were on remote a couple of years ago?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember. I know that Chris Hero was right behind us. Gosh, I know the time flies. Time flies when you're having fun, and I mean it flies sometimes when you're not too. Yeah, I'm trying to remember, or was it one of the Cinemanias possibly, or? Because I know we did a couple of remotes there as well.
Maybe it was Cinemania. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like I said, when they all start to flow together like that. I mean, I'm surprised I remember some of the interviews that I got at some of those early ones, but I guess that's because I was at the time greener than Doink the Clown's hair. So, and some would argue, 8 years later, I still am, but that's a whole nother story.
I'm coming back on August 12th with the convention, and House of Hardcore returns.
Wow, just fresh after the other one here, they're coming right back with it, huh? Well, I mean, Philly is the popular area for it here. Taking a look here at houseofhardcore.net to get a little bit more info on it, just because, as I said, it's fairly fresh. Well, I mean, they're just all over the place. They're going to be in St. James, New York, coming up in on May 19th. Then in June, they're going to be in Australia for a few events. Yeah, they're doing a whole Australian tour, and they'll be in Illinois on August 26th. Yeah, in Lake Geneva, Illinois. So yeah, they're certainly moving and grooving. That's for sure.
And Fearless Hills has a show at the end of next month. Battleground Championship Wrestling.
You know what? I have. I was gonna say that I have heard a little bit about. I know. Yeah, I know that one of our previous guests here, he had promoted an event from them a few months ago now.
You mean Sir Styles?
Sir Styles, yeah, that's.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I was at least trying to keep it kayfabe here, but yeah, yeah, that'll be Sir Styles. I'm sure. I'm surprised he hasn't reached out to me to get a little bit more.
I thought you had that other promotion.
I was gonna say, am I getting them mixed up? Have I taken too many shots to the head here? I mean, it could entirely be possible.
Matt Tremont and Al Snow is going to be on the card at night with Bull James.
That's right. Yeah. Okay, I knew I'd seen this before. That's right. It's going to be Bull James against Falaba, one half of the MFPW Tag Champions, who also recently, along with his partner Mario Bocora, has been seen on Impact Wrestling.
That's about it.
All righty. Thank you so much, Ed. Appreciate the look at the local scene as always.
My time limit.
No, you're fine. I'm. Like I said, I'm a little scatterbrained today here. I guess with everything going on, prepping for the MFPW event later, and trying to make my way from here down to the viewing for Larry Sharp.
That's a shame about Larry Sharp.
Yeah, it's, but if, like I said, if not for him, I wouldn't, all this stuff with the MFPW wouldn't be happening. So, him and Nature Boy Buddy Rogers starting that back in '83, and Danny Cage kind of picking up the torch and carrying it onward since 2011, and I'm extremely grateful for everything that has come my way because of that.
Enjoy the weather.
Yeah, it's it certainly wasn't enjoyable about 8.5 hours ago. That's for sure.
Yeah,
when the
heard
thunderstorms were coming earlier this morning, but that's
Woke
yeah, I think it woke a lot of people up. I think a few people had some early mornings today due to that. It almost looked like I don't know. It almost looked like a strobe light in the sky the way the lightning was going off there. It's craziness. Alrighty, Ed. Thank you so much for the call. We'll catch you. I believe we'll be here next week. I got to check with El Jefe about what the game plan is for that and whether we'll be on the road or here in studio. But in either case, we'll figure it out. We'll try to get things going as we make our way through here. Anyway, let's get back to some more of the news and notes over the course of the week here. As I don't know. Do I even want to get into the dumpster match from this past Monday? See, this would be where Twitch would chime in because, I don't know, there'd be some sort of joke about dumpsters and whatnot going on with that. We'll get into some other news instead. So, United Kingdom indie wrestler Flash Morgan Webster has released a free documentary called Road Back to Malice that shows the painful journey he went through to return to the ring after a 10-month injury layoff. Morgan sustained 2 fractures in his ankle, easy for me to say, and a dislocated shoulder while in the ring with Zack Sabre Jr. during a WWE Cruiserweight Classic qualification match back in April of 2016. The documentary shows Webster's journey while detailing the injuries through rehabilitation to the point he was ready to return 10 months later at a Progress Wrestling event. So that should be interesting. And hey, it's a free documentary, so you can't go wrong with that, right? Meanwhile, something that I'm sure was anything but free, at least in terms of the contractual agreements, WWE and TV5 announcing a new agreement this past Thursday to broadcast WWE's flagship program SmackDown in the Philippines on TV5, beginning tomorrow, April 30th. Every week, TV5 will televise a 1-hour edition of SmackDown on Sundays at 3 p.m., so a little bit of a tape delay. Fans will be able to follow their favorite WWE superstars on SmackDown, including AJ Styles, The New Day, Randy Orton, Charlotte Flair, Shinsuke Nakamura, Kevin Owens, and Naomi. In addition to the broadcast on TV5, SmackDown will be simulcast online at tv5.com.ph and sports.tv5.com.ph. A quote from Ed Wells, WWE Executive Vice President of the International Division. He says, TV5 shares our vision and desire for engaging and entertaining fans in the Philippines. This new partnership to televise SmackDown showcases the continuing global growth of WWE while creating a destination for WWE fans in the Philippines to enjoy our unique blend of action-packed family fun entertainment. Now, TV5 President Chot Reyes added, in the industry of sports entertainment, WWE is second to none. It's a proven, successful model organization and an esteemed, iconic brand. We at TV5 are honored and excited to be the platform that delivers WWE to the free TV audience. So, congrats to the Philippines as they're able to keep things going in terms of broadcasting WWE thanks to TV5. Some interesting and fun stuff there. Also, we kind of mentioned it a little bit with the promoting of the upcoming ROH event here in Philly, but Cody Rhodes has reportedly signed a contract with Ring of Honor, according to MLWRadio.com, as well as the Pro Wrestling Torch, PWTorch.com. Terms of the deal were not disclosed, and neither Cody nor Ring of Honor have confirmed the report. Yay, reports and allegations and things of that nature. Also, this I thought was kind of funny and something that I'm sure might have happened, but other people might have thought there'd be no chance in hell. Vince McMahon, his life story will be chronicled in a movie called Pandemonium. Really? You think that it would be called No Chance in Hell? Well, I guess maybe not. I don't know. Deadline.com reporting that the script was written by Craig A. Williams and the film will be directed by John Requa and Glenn Ficarra. The description notes that McMahon's ascension in the wrestling business will be covered. Well, I guess maybe that's why I didn't go with the title of No Chance in Hell, because you figure with the promotion lineage that McMahon's family has, I mean, between his father, Vincent J. McMahon, with the wrestling, and his grandfather, I believe Jess McMahon, doing boxing promoting way back in the day, that it would pretty much just be understandable that he would carry the reins and keep things going. But Pandemonium is certainly what a lot of people would argue professional wrestling is, especially WWE, for certain. So we'll take care of our final time out here, and we'll come back. We've got some more news and notes. We've got Today in Wrestling History. We've got the birthdays. We've got room for your calls as well and your Facebook feedback. The number's 215-7 Wow, I don't know where I was going there. 215-949-3232 or 888-922-2149. That's 888-WBCB-1490. Yeah, I guess I had a Freudian slip there. I was looking at the fact that it's 12:37, and I guess the 7 just seemed to jump into my head for some reason. I don't know. I've got numbers going all over the place here. It's certainly crazy. And with it being 12:37, it's about time to let you know that it's a wild weekend at the Broken Goblet Brewery over at 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA, including tonight at 8, where Kinky Quizzo returns to the Broken Goblet. Now, is that a little too spicy for you? Well, if you show up early, including right now since they opened at the top of the hour back at noon, you can show up early for some fantastic brews, as it's a Firkin Awesome Saturday featuring, oh man, this is certainly an interesting twist, as noted here from their social media post. Star Wars meets Guardians of the Galaxy. Easy for me to say. Let me try it again. Star Wars meets Guardians of the Galaxy. On tap right now. Well, actually, both things. I had to ask to find out if they were both on tap. But the Firkin in this case is the I Am Groot, which is a peanut butter and chocolate brown ale. Oh, man. I wish there was a way I could get over to get some of that. Oh, man, that sounds good. Also, it's part of the Goblet's annual fundraiser for multiple sclerosis. Plus, on tap, this year's Star Wars homage beer, as they're getting, this later this week is... I guess semi-officially known as Star Wars Day, May the 4th. Get it? May the 4th be with you. That's, I kind of sort of know Star Wars, so that's the only reason I get that. Anyway, their Star Wars homage beer, Rogan 1. Get it? Because Rogue One? That's right. It's the Goblet's take on a German rye beer, better known as a Rogan beer. That's where they get the name from it. Just a few reasons why it's always a good time at the Broken Goblet Brewery, 1500 Grundy's Lane in Bristol, PA. Broken Goblet Brewing, the semi-official brewery of Pro Wrestling Weekly. Please enjoy responsibly. And also don't forget Sundays, the Broken Bloodies and Brews. Oh, the Broken Bloody Mary. Absolutely amazing. A little bit of spice to it. Even if you're not a tomato fan, which I'll admit when it comes to tomato juice, I'm not. Definitely a fan of the Broken Goblet's Bloody Mary. That turned me on to it, as I'm not pretty much a Bloody Mary consumer, but I'll definitely have one of those, that's for sure. So make sure you get a nice little taste of that if you can tomorrow, or some of the fancy different flavored brews that they have going on today. Anyway, coming back, we've got room for more of your calls. We've got some more news and notes here. Surgery for an Impact Wrestling star, also an NXT star who's about to be a proud papa. We'll let you know who that is. And also what Shaq had to say regarding why he didn't wrestle at WrestleMania 33. Plus an interesting... We'll just leave it at that. An interesting new name for a WWE pay-per-view or network special event that's coming up this summer, and it's certainly gotten a few interesting takes on the interwebs. So we'll talk about that. Plus, I'll go over the predictions certain to go wrong for Payback, as that is tomorrow after my gaffe from last week here. All that and more here on Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com.
Ryan Westbrook here to tell you about my good friends over at Golden Nugget Jewelers. Just because I used to leave it all in the field doesn't mean you have to leave all your money at the register to get her that special engagement ring. Head on over to Golden Nugget Showroom on the corner of 8th and Chestnut to get treated like a Hall of Famer. They've got the best selection of loose diamonds, the best prices, and lifetime guarantees. But what really sets Golden Nugget apart is the family-owned, friendly atmosphere. Golden Nugget Jewelers. It's where Philly gets engaged.
Take a stand.
Take a stand.
Take a stand.
Like my brother did, when he wouldn't take no for an answer.
Like my wife did, when she asked the right questions.
Like my friend did, when she made the call.
You stood by us when we were in uniform, so stand by us now.
Take a stand for those who served our country.
If you're a veteran in crisis or know one who is, the confidential Veterans Crisis Line is here for you. Call 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. Chat at veteranscrisisline.net or text 838-255.
All commentators heard on WBCB expressed their own views. Their opinions are not necessarily those of others on WBCB, including the staff and management.
The Bull Session is back. Join Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker and former Phillies slugger Greg the Bull Luzinski for the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session, presented by Gage Fiore, attorneysthatfightforyou.com. The premiere of the Bull Session is Tuesday, April 4th from 6 to 7 p.m. at the Bluebell Inn. Get the scoop on the 2017 Phillies with Dan Baker, the Bull, and their special guest. The Independence Blue Cross Bull Session, presented by Gage Fiore, attorneysthatfightforyou.com, this Tuesday, April 4th at 6 p.m., live from the Bluebell Inn. Your health is your most precious asset. Tune in to St. Mary Healthline Wednesday at 9 a.m. for advice on how to better manage your health. You will hear about important medical issues from the doctors and professionals across all service lines from St. Mary Medical Center. You will have the opportunity to talk or email your questions to the experts who can help you live a healthier lifestyle. St. Mary Healthline, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. It's your health. Expect more.
Pro Wrestling Weekly presents Today in Wrestling History, April 29. On this date in 1996, WWF Monday Night Raw aired live from Sioux City, Iowa. In the main event, The Ultimate Warrior pinned Isaac Yankem DDS. On this date in 2001, the WWF held its Backlash pay-per-view. In the main event, Steve Austin and Triple H defeated Kane and The Undertaker to win the WWF Tag Team Championship. Austin's WWF Championship and Triple H's Intercontinental Championship were also on the line in the match. On this date in 2007, WWE held its Backlash pay-per-view. In the main event, John Cena defeated Edge, Shawn Michaels, and Randy Orton in a fatal four-way match to retain the WWE Championship. On this date in 2012, WWE held its Extreme Rules pay-per-view. In the main event, John Cena pinned Brock Lesnar in an Extreme Rules match. This has been Today in Wrestling History, April 29. Welcome back to Pro Wrestling Weekly here on 1490 WBCB and online at WBCB1490.com. Fearon Derry here with you, and John from Northeast Philly with an interesting observation. I kind of glossed over the dumpster match from this past Monday here, and he had an interesting post, and that's a heck of a question. He says here on the Facebook fan page, Pro Wrestling Weekly on 1490 AM WBCB, dumpster match versus King of the Road match versus that match with that three-layer ring in WCW that ended with Hogan and Savage exiting the ring only to run back in it to get the pin. Which is the champion of worst match ever? Well, see, it's hard to go. I mean, well, I hate to be critical when it comes to those things because, I mean, I almost feel like you'd have to go to, I almost want to defer to Justin Henry or somebody over at WrestleCrap.com to talk about when it comes to worst matches ever, because that's kind of what they highlight, the best of the worst. But in terms of least favorable, the match, the matches you're referring to, I mean, dumpster matches, you've seen a few of them. One of them including back at WrestleMania. It was the New Age Outlaws against Cactus Jack and Chainsaw Charlie, a.k.a. Terry Funk. But that challenging up against the King of the Road match, the one and done from WCW Uncensored 95, I believe it was, the Blacktop Bully and Dustin Rhodes, where they fought on pretty much an open moving 18-wheeler with bales of hay everywhere, versus the Doomsday Cage match. I believe that's what John's thinking of. Yes, where it was a 2-on-8 handicap three-layer cage match where it was Hogan and Savage against the Alliance to End Hulkamania, which consisted of Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Meng, the Barbarian, Lex Luger, the Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan, Z Gangsta, better known as Zeus back in the WWF days, and the Ultimate Solution. One of WCW's better known gaffes says, he was the 6'4", 405-pounder who also was known in other entities wrestling as Jeep Swenson or Jeep the Mercenary, but he was initially he was initially named by WCW as the Final Solution, but then complaints came into the Ted Turner corporate offices from Jewish organizations based on the naming and how that had a lot to do with the stuff back around World War II in Germany. We'll just leave it at that. So he was then changed to the Ultimate Solution because, WCW claiming they were unaware that was the name that that Hitler gave to his plan. You know what the plan was. I don't need to necessarily tell you about that. You've all read your history books, I'm sure. You definitely don't need me to talk about that. But yes, the Ultimate Solution, along with the various managers of Woman, Miss Elizabeth, and the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart. And yes, Hogan and Savage ended up winning that 2-on-8 cage match. Man. I don't know. That's which is the worst of the three? That's see, I don't know. Thanks to OSW Review, my love for the King of the Road match has it's kind of become one of those badges of love, I guess, in terms of so bad it's good kind of things. Although they also did recently review that Doomsday Cage match, so I don't know. I don't think they've given it as much love. I don't know. That is a hard one to pick. Although I guess, based on the fact that they've at least done, or they've gone back to the dumpster match well, it's kind of hard to say that that's in the mix. I guess I'd have to. Oh man, that is WCW Uncensored 95 or 96. That's a tough decision there. I don't know. I guess I'd have to go with that Doomsday Cage match just because of it's hard to just suspend the disbelief when you've got an 8-on-2 scenario and the two win. It's just, especially with all those different personalities and whatnot. It's just, that was a little too unrealistic for me, despite everything else that had gone on here. I mean, plus there were frying pans in the match, and the Booty Man got involved, and there was a loaded glove. It was a mess. That's probably the best way to put it. Anyway, getting into some other news here as we make our way along. Impact Wrestling's Eddie Edwards scheduled to undergo knee surgery over the course of the week here. A source with knowledge of the situation described it as minor surgery. Edwards somewhat addressed it on social media Thursday, tweeting, quote, "Unfortunately, due to my knee injury, I will not be able to be at the Wrestling Revolver event May 5th. I promise to make it up as soon as I can." So, hopefully a quick convalescence for Eddie Edwards so he can get back onto things. Also, NXT wrestler Roderick Strong and his fiancée Marina Shafir became parents on Monday night. The couple announced the arrival of their son, Troy Vienneman Lindsay, via social media, and WWE.com ran a story on the couple noting that Shafir is an MMA fighter and training partner of Ronda Rousey, who's, of course, made that WrestleMania appearance. One person who didn't make a WrestleMania appearance, former NBA star Shaquille O'Neal. He went and addressed the reasons that he didn't wrestle as teased at WrestleMania 33 during his latest podcast. He said, quote, "They kept playing. First they said it was me and Big Show, then they said it was going to be 3-on-3, then they canceled it, so when they canceled it, I made other arrangements," end quote. O'Neal said the company reached out to him again with the hopes of getting him in the ring, but at this point he declined. He went on to say, "I just said I'm not going to do it. They messed it up." So there you go. Note to the wise, don't play Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq, don't play that. I thought it was Homie, don't play that. Well, no, that's in living color. That's a whole nother story. Oh, wow. And John adding, okay, you video game references. Yes, we know about the Wizard. I'm ready to write. Yeah, a movie to debut the three-layer ring. That was a few years later. That wasn't. I mean, that was 4 years later when they had the Ready to Rumble movie. But that was well after the Doomsday Cage match. So yeah, it wasn't quite. One quite didn't play after the other. Although it wasn't quite up there with the No Holds Barred, the movie The Match. from back in December 27th of 89, as you had heard copious amounts of times on WWE programming back in 89. So this this one's certainly interesting here. So it was announced yesterday that Brock Lesnar will defend the WWE Universal Championship at the July 9th WWE pay-per-view that originally was thought to be Bad Blood, but that's right. The event, which will be held at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, is now being titled Great Balls of Fire. Not sure what made them think of that name. I don't know. I'm lost. I don't know. There have already been a lot of different comments. One that I thought was entertaining, since TNA Impact Wrestling for a while with their pay-per-views had a Phil Collins theme of one of their pay-per-views being called Genesis and another being called Against All Odds. The speculation is which other Jerry Lee Lewis song will turn into a WWE pay-per-view. That's an interesting one. I don't know. That's so many singles of his. I guess what would be a good? Well, I doubt it would be "You Win Again." That's for sure. Maybe "Breathless." It's hard to say. There's there we go. WWE presents "Cold, Cold Heart." Okay, maybe not. Or there we go. WWE "Good Golly Miss Molly." Maybe that'll be the next pay-per-view if they're going with Jerry Lee Lewis tunes. Or you could throw this as a tagline for WrestleMania 33: 1 minute past eternity. Okay, maybe not. I don't know. There's a lot of different. Just kind of having some fun with that, I guess. Good job there. Thank you, Jerry Lee Lewis, for that accompaniment there. 1 minute past eternity. I should stick with that. Who knows? That's that one's kind of funny from back in 1969. Maybe you'll hear that on the Country Road show coming up with Ted Efaw here, as that was just got outside of being a chart topper. It was a number 2 hit on the country charts back in 1969. So we'll see. Ted Efaw, the country cousin, coming up in about a little over 10 minutes or so here on WBCB. But I don't know, great balls of fire. That's just when you think you've seen it all in professional wrestling. What can I say? Also, got to tell you about our friends over at George's Cards and Collectibles. They've got more signings coming your way, including next Saturday, May 6th from 3 to 5 p.m., former 3-time WWE Tag Team Champions Demolition. That's right, Axe and Smash will be at George's Neshaminy Mall location on Saturday, May 6th. That's 1 week from today, from 3 to 5 p.m. And then 1 week later, Al Snow, former WWE and ECW star at the Neshaminy Mall George's on Saturday, May 13th from 2:30 to 4:30 p.m. And also 2 appearances on Saturday, July 8th, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Former WWE stars King Kong Bundy and one half of the Vaudevillains, Simon Gotch. George's has 3 locations for all of your cards and collectibles needs, including their original store at 7755 New Falls Road in Levittown, in the Willow Grove Park Mall on the 2nd level near Macy's in Tivana, and in the Neshaminy Mall in the movie theater wing. For more information, go to georgescollectibles.com and follow George's Cards and Collectibles on Facebook. All right, so Payback is tomorrow. Even though as I said, I kind of botched that last week. The instant Facebook feedback here. WWE presents By God King, Did You See That? Sponsored by Lens Crafters. I don't know if that would be a pay-per-view, more so as maybe a kind of like the Raw Rewind or some of the other things of that nature. So, since I didn't hear back from Lucas, I guess the added match from last week is going to be forfeited on his part, so we'll chop that up as a loss. But 8 matches for the Payback lineup card tomorrow, including one of the kickoff, a kickoff match and a kickoff segment. Enzo and Big Cass against Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson. I'm going to go with Enzo and Cass. If for some reason I hear from Twitch before tomorrow, I'll note it and see where we go from there. I'll at least give them that chance. Otherwise, Lucas and I agreeing on 6 of the other 7 matches. The only one that we disagree on, Neville against Austin Aries for the Cruiserweight title. I'm saying Neville. Lucas is going with Austin Aries. Meanwhile, the other matches, the Raw tag titles on the line, the Hardy Boys against Cesaro and Sheamus. We both think the Hardys are going to retain. Bayley against Alexa Bliss for the Raw Women's Championship. We both think that Bayley is going to retain. Kevin Owens against Chris Jericho for the United States Championship. Thinking Owens for both of us on that. Seth Rollins against Samoa Joe. We've got Joe winning that one. Roman Reigns against Braun Strowman. The booing fans are going to be the winners. No, we think Reigns is going to win that one. And Randy Orton defending the WWE Championship against Bray Wyatt in a House of Horrors match. We both got Orton taking the victory on that one. So there's your picks for Payback for tomorrow officially here. And what... Oh, goodness. I'm so easily distracted. John from Northeast Philly just rolling them off here with something from the Botchamania fan page. Vince saying the name of the pay-per-view will be Great Balls of Fire, and then it looks like a screen cap caption of what looks to be the faces of Triple H and Vince McMahon being superimposed over Homer and Grandpa Simpson respectively, as Grandpa Simpson, or in this case Grandpa Vince, being wheelchaired by Triple H Simpson in this case into the as it is put there, the nut house. Interesting. I never know where things are going to go here. What can I say? All right, so we've got a couple of minutes left, and that means it's just about time for mostly everybody's favorite segment. I don't know, birthdays. Yeah, it doesn't have the same ring when I do it, for whatever reason. I don't know. Let me get Twitch up here to get it right here.
Birthdays, you jerk.
There we go. That sounds a little bit more like it. So I got 4 of them for you and a Brucey bonus. Firstly, on this date in 1933, Willie Hugh Nelson was born. The Country Music Hall of Fame singer who performed America the Beautiful at WrestleMania 7 in Los Angeles turns 84 today. With that classic foam championship belt around his waist and the Hulkamania bandana, and I believe the... what was it? Was it the Bret Hitman Hart sunglasses as well? Interesting look, to say the least. On this date in 1960, Paul Centopani was born, the former 3-time WCW Tag Team Champion and former WWF competitor better known as Paul Roma, turns 57 today. On this date in 1977, Thaddeus Michael Bullard Sr. was born, the former WWE Tag Team Champion and former Pro Wrestling Weekly guest better known as Titus O'Neil, turns the big 4-0 today. And on this date in 1985, Jamar Shipman was born. The former 6-time TNA X Division champion and former Ring of Honor champion, best known as Jay Lethal, turns 32 today. And finally, the Brucey bonus. What's the deal with this? On this date in 1954, Jerome Allen Seinfeld was born. The actor and comedian best known for the hit TV series Seinfeld, of course Jerry Seinfeld, turns 63 today. And I'm sure he'll have a few questions as far as what's the deal with a few different things here. Anyway, that is going to just about do it for me here. As, Ted Efaw has Country Roads coming your way here on 1490 WBCB. And I'll be back next week, yet to be determined if it will be here in studio or if we'll be down at the MFPW Arena. Time will tell, I suppose. Anyway, for not Lucas, since he doesn't appear to be here, it'd be funny if he showed up right about now, though, just as the show's over. But until next week, play us out, Nutsy.
1 o'clock and all's well.
Serving you better than ever before. This is 1490 WBCB 11.